Hey, so you're sitting here on YouTube and you have a few free minutes. Nothing better to pass the time than a fantasy football mock draft. So hit that like button, because we're about to pop, lock, and mock it. What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Hey, we got it all queued up here for a mock draft today. It's the weekend. It's time to relax, do a little bit of mock drafting. Let's see what's going on here. Haven't done a mock draft here in a couple weeks, and we're going to start doing them weekly, so make sure you're paying attention. Hit that subscribe button here if you're new to the channel. We got it queued up here on fantasyfootballcalculator.com. If you haven't used the site before, there's a link down in the description below. We're going to be doing a 12-team PPR mock draft today, and we're going to be taking one of the earlier slots. So we're going to go with the fourth slot here. Let's go with the fourth slot. Now, if you sign up for a free account on this website, it'll allow you to enter your name here to your draft, and then when you're done, it will email you your draft grade, which is great. Once it comes up, you'll be here, and you can see how much longer you have until the draft starts. We're going to go ahead and hide our drafted players. Really super easy, super quick to use. We're using this for trends. We're trying to see where these players are going. The clocks are short. You make quick decisions. You do a lot of mock drafting. This is where you kind of play around a little bit. What works? Maybe you want to go heavy wide receiver. Maybe you want to go heavy running back. Try all these different strategies. Find out which ones works the best for you and who falls to you in what rounds using different strategies. I'm typically a running back guy. I like a lot of running backs. I mean, I am not against taking running backs in the first 3 rounds. You score points in fantasy football by your players touching the ball. Running backs, we know that are going to touch the ball, and if the right ones fall to you, you can get almost 20 touches a week. If I can get 40 to 60 touches on my first 3 draft picks, more than likely I'm going to do it. Now, it is a PPR draft. The first 4 picks in most drafts that we're seeing here, you got a mixture of Elliott, Barkley, Kamara, and McCaffrey. They're all going 1 through 4 for the most part. They may be in different orders, but that's the consensus top 4. Am I going to say that I'm going to absolutely choose one of those 4? Not necessarily. It really depends who falls. I mean, there are some players that I like more. Obviously, I think right now Barkley is the consensus number 1 pick, especially in PPR because he's going to see so much volume, so many check down passes there from Eli or Daniel Jones or whoever else they want to pull out of the stands to play quarterback for the New York Football Giants. But here we go. We're on the clock. Christian McCaffrey is who fell to us. Now, in my opinion, Christian McCaffrey may have some of the highest PPR value here, and that's who we're going to take. He caught almost, he's going to catch almost 100 balls again this year. He's going to be the number 1 option, more than likely in that offense as a whole. Not just so much out of the backfield, but as a whole, he's going to see the ball a lot. Easy target there to get you close to 27 touches. May not all be carries, but receptions have, more value in this league anyway, so let's go with Christian McCaffrey here. As you can see, the end of the first round ended up with a little bit of a run on wide receivers. You had Julio, DeAndre Hopkins, and Michael Thomas go there, 9, 10, and 11. Juju right there on the 12th turn. They went back-to-back Steelers with Connor and Juju. First tight end off the board here with the 4th pick there in the 2nd round. Now, back on the clock here, like I said, I want running backs. Who's going to touch the ball for me here on this football team? I love Nick Chubb. Hashtag give me some Chubb out there, people. Nick Chubb is somebody who's going to go out there and easily touch the ball 20 times a week. Now, yes, does Kareem Hunt come back? He does. But I have a long part of my season, my chunk of my fantasy football season with Nick Chubb. Do I really want to worry about week 9, 10, and 11 right now? No, because if I can win my first 8 games with Nick Chubb, I'll be in a little bit better position, and I have time to make some moves throughout the season to make sure that if Hunt does come back and gets a big workload, that I'm not caught off guard by it. So here we go, our turn again on the clock. Do we have any solid running backs available? Yeah, we do. I mean, Devontae Freeman, a lot of people love him and hate him. Now, there's some more options here. Fournette, not too high on, especially in PPR. Hashtag Amari Cooper. I think he's going to have a lot better year this year. Like Amari Cooper, not going to take him here right now, though. Like I said, looking for those touches. Marlon Mack, a little bit of an injury history. Do like the upside of him. Same thing with A.J. Green. Josh Jacobs, I'm not going to trust here in his rookie year. Not going to take Patrick Mahomes this early. Devonta Freeman is somebody who is not only going to get the bulk of the carries there in Atlanta. He has PPR value because he can catch the ball out of the backfield. A lot of people are saying Ito Smith is going to be the guy at some point. Why? He sucked last year. Really hasn't shown anything. Now, if there's an injury, obviously, but right now, Devonta Freeman as my running back 3, more than likely my weekly flex play. Now, I've started off my team here with almost 60 touches a week. That's huge for your fantasy football team. I know they're going to touch the ball. Now that I have 3 running backs, I can kind of start paying a little bit more attention to wide receiver. That's what I'm looking at now. Kenny Galladay, he had a great season last year, but there's more weapons there in Detroit now. Mark Ingram, no need for that. Calvin Ridley, not to be my number 1, no thank you. Cooper Kupp, nope. Sammy Watkins, Tyler Lockett, I really like. Now, there's not too many guys here that are really, really solid. There's some upside, and I'm going to gamble a little bit with some of this. There's no more Doug Baldwin in Seattle. I know they got DK Metcalf, but Tyler Lockett is somebody who's going to see a lot of volume, a lot of touchdown upside. Not so much PPR, but he could see an uptick in targets this year with Baldwin out. And Tyler Lockett has that chemistry with Russell Wilson. They're going to have to throw the ball there. Am I totally happy that he's my number 1? No, I'm not. But that's kind of where we're mock drafting. This is kind of what happens if you wait on wide receiver. This is what you're going to be left with. Can you make something out of it? We're back on the clock already. Wide receivers here. Go ahead and sort by wide receivers. We got Sammy, Landry, Mike Williams, DJ Moore, Tyler Boyd, Tyreek Hill. Now, Tyreek Hill, the news came out today that there may not be any criminal charges pressed. And do I think that this ADP climbs? Yes, abso-freaking-lutely, I think it does. And people may be scared. There may be a suspension at some point. You take risks at times. Am I a Tyreek Hill fan? Absolutely not. I am not. We'll have another video on that whole situation coming out soon, but I'm going to go ahead and take Tyreek Hill here. Sometimes you have to gamble a little bit. And if he does play, if he's not guilty and he does play, all of a sudden I have 60 touches with my running backs and I still have Tyreek Hill. That's kind of how you win championships at times, is by taking a risk. If Tyreek Hill gets suspended and he's out half the season, if he's out the entire season, if he's cut altogether, is it going to hurt? Yeah, but that's where you really have to pay attention to the waiver wire and really focus on things out there a little bit more. And also, you may have to add a little bit more depth on your roster, which is kind of what we're going to look at right now. We need some more wide receiver help. Well, Boyd, Anderson, Robinson, Fuller, Harry, Hardman, Pettis. I could go with Mecole Hardman, and if I do, if something happens to Tyreek Hill, I have another section of that offense to kind of take up that void, but I'm not sold that Mecole Hardman sees all those additional targets. A lot of these guys, we can wait a little bit longer. Tyler Boyd was a borderline wide receiver 1 last season in the games that A.J. Green played. A.J. Green is back. Can I say that he's healthy? I don't know if you can ever say A.J. Green is healthy, but we're going to go with Tyler Boyd right here. Apparently, I like my wide receivers' names to start with T. Why? I have Tyler, Tyreek, and Tyler. Maybe going double Tyler this year for this team. Still a little bit too early for my quarterbacks, even though you see a lot of good ones off the board already. But let's see what we got. Let's go back to all here. Geis, Miller, Anderson, Cook, Robinson, Hunt, Fuller. Now, could I go Kareem Hunt right here and stack him with Nick Chubb and then no worries? Yeah, I could, but I have enough running backs right this second. Tight end is kind of where I may look. We got Jared Cook and Vance McDonald. I like both guys. I think that Vance McDonald may be a little safer, but Jared Cook may have a little higher upside in a New Orleans offense that really only throws the ball to Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas. Jared Cook could be another big weapon in the red zone. We know that they're going to put up points. I'm going to gamble on Jared Cook right here. He was a top tight end last year, leaving Oakland, going to New Orleans. Great situation, passing offense. Drew Brees is a quarterback. And like I said, it's a mock draft. Let's see how the team turns out before we start criticizing it too bad. Right now, I'm a little worried about wide receiver. It could be a little bit better, but that doesn't mean that we can't find some great value late in this draft and really turn it around. So here we are in the 8th round. Lots of quarterbacks off the board. There's a few guys that I'm going to target late. I like Dak Prescott a lot this year, especially for the value that you can get him at. You still have, Phillip Rivers and Jared Goff, I think, is a solid option. I'm not going to think that he's going to go out there and have a huge year, but I do like Jared Goff. Kyler Murray has upside, but there's also a lot of risk. Cam Newton, no thank you, not touching. Let's see who else we have here. Dante Pettis, potential breakout wide receiver. Geronimo Allison, the number 2 option in the Green Bay offense that could see a lot of balls if he can stay healthy, because they can't throw every single pass attempt to Devontae Adams, but there are some younger guys there. Christian Kirk, going to be in that air raid offense, could see huge volume. Right now, I really like Pettis and Kirk. I'm going to go ahead and gamble on Christian Kirk right here because I kind of want a little piece of that air raid offense. I mean, that could be a huge, huge offensive boost. And apparently didn't take it, and it gave me Kyler Murray. I hate when that happens. But it's all right. We knew we would have taken Christian Kirk right there. I was too busy talking. Christian Kirk's still sitting there, so you know what? Let's draft him this time. Now, obviously, Kyler Murray would not be my first choice as my quarterback. But things happen, and then you have to adapt to it. So we'll go ahead and just continue on. Let's see how it ends up. Like I said, it's a mock draft. People are going to criticize it, but it's June, and it's a mock draft for fun where we went heavy running back at the beginning. It is what it is. Let's have some fun with it, and let's see what happens. We have a defense coming off in the 10th round. Don't choose a defense this early. I don't care what league you're in. Just wait on defenses and kickers. They change so much from week to week. It's not worth it. There's too much value on the board. Now is the time. Double-digit rounds. Let's look for some quarterbacks. Obviously, we already have Kyler Murray. And let's pretend I wanted Kyler Murray at that point for the potential upside. If you want Kyler Murray, if you want to gamble with that, I recommend taking somebody safe. Who is safe? Phillip Rivers is really safe because he's thrown for 4,000 yards like 10 out of the last 11 seasons. You know they're going to throw the ball a lot. And no more Tyrell Williams, but now Mike Williams takes a step forward. Hunter Henry comes back. So I got my risky quarterback with Kyler Murray and my safety valve with Phillip Rivers. Now, do I really want to take two quarterbacks in the first 10 picks? No, I really don't. But like I said, it is what it is. So now we're done with quarterbacks, so we're not going to be taking any more of them. What do we have left? Kiki QT, great value from the wide receiver position. Paris Campbell, as a rookie, has a chance to get close to 75, 100 targets this season. I'm not going to go too far down the list because we don't want to reach too far. Devin Funchess, absolutely not. Hashtag never Funchess. Kiki QT, in his very first game as a professional, had like 15 targets. When he's healthy and he's on the field, playing the slot for the Houston Texans, he's going to see the ball a lot. So even though we waited on wide receiver, took a gamble with Tyreek Hill, we have some more pieces that we're being pretty safe with. We do need a backup tight end at some point in case something happens to Jared Cook. I'm not going to reach for that unless somebody falls in our lap. We have Delaney Walker, 712 years old. Greg Olsen, maybe like 713 years old. Trey Burton, hit or miss, boom or bust on a weekly basis. Noah Fant was my number one tight end in the draft. Don't know if I really like the situation a lot for him in Denver. Chris Herndon could be a breakout tight end. I like that possibility. Not going to reach too far for him. As we're back on the clock here, Adrian Peterson, Deion Lewis, Delaney Walker, Peyton Barber, Justice Hill, Dak Prescott would have been my second quarterback at this point had it not given me Kyler Murray. Just to throw that in there. Not seeing anything else where I'm really overly excited about it. Not a whole lot of options here, so we're going to go back to tight end, and we're going to go with Chris Herndon. I think Chris Herndon in an improved offense with the New York Jets, he's definitely going to have an opportunity there. Defense are going to have to start paying attention to Le'Veon Bell and to Jamison Crowder there out of the slot. Chris Herndon, who built some chemistry last season with Sam Darnold, has that opportunity to do it again this year. Going back to our player list, because why? Yep, we're already back on the clock. We have everything we really need. There's not a whole lot that we need right this second, so now we're looking for upside. Alexander Madison, he's a player that he's the lone backup to Dalvin Cook. If anything were to happen to Dalvin Cook, he's going to get the lion's share of the work there. Justice Hill could be involved in the passing game in Baltimore. Don't need any other quarterbacks, obviously. Andy Isabella, we already have Christian Kirk. We're going to take a gamble here on Alexander Madison because if something were to happen to Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison all of a sudden becomes a running back that's going to get you 15 to 20 touches a week. There wasn't anything else really on the board at this time that was really appealing unless we really, really reach. The team is really deep right now. We have more than enough options at every position. We can start looking at our defense and kickers. To be honest, sometimes I don't even draft a kicker, even if I'm going to have one. Pick up that extra skill player. Let's see what happens with it, and then you can drop somebody later on. Maybe Alexander Madison or somebody gets hurt. Okay, well, great. Then I'll pick up somebody there. We have a long ways to go. So I'm going to look at the defense. I think New England has a solid defense. Green Bay is going to have an improved defense. Tennessee is going to be one of the top defenses this season. Philadelphia has a very much improved defense if they can stay healthy. They've added a few pieces there, and that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly as my defense right here, and then we'll finish this up. One more. Come on. Let's just grab our kicker. Let's grab a kicker here. And do I care what kicker it is? No, not really. To be completely honest, how I choose a kicker, I find the best kicker available that kicks indoors, because that way that's half the games out of the year that I don't have to worry about weather. So we got Brett Mayer of the Cowboys, Dan Bailey of the Vikings. Let's just go with good old Dan Bailey. As you can see, the team came together pretty good, even though it auto-picked us Kyler Murray. But like I said, maybe you're high on Kyler Murray. Maybe you want to take a shot at him. Go for it. Do it. Just make sure you have that solid, consistent quarterback behind him. We have a backup tight end. We have depth at all these different positions. I'm going to go ahead and just close this right here. Go back, take a look at one of the teams from the top. Go through here. We got Christian McCaffrey, Nick Chubb, Devonta Freeman, close to 60 touches a week. Followed up with Tyler Lockett, Tyreek Hill, and Tyler Boyd. Now, obviously, like I said, Tyreek Hill could move up in these ADPs if it's found that he's not going to be disciplined. Something to pay attention to. We'll have other shows on that. Am I a Tyreek Hill fan? No, but I like to win fantasy football games. Tyler Boyd, stud wide receiver 2 when A.J. Green is healthy. Love that pickup right there. I think that's a steal right there in the 6th round. Jared Cook as our top tight end. And that's the auto pick of Kyler Murray. And then we backed it up with Phillip Rivers there 2 rounds later. Christian Kirk, Kiki QT could both be PPR monsters. Backup tight end of Chris Herndon. Alexander Madison is our wild card in case something happens to Dalvin Cook again. The Philadelphia defense, and Dan Bailey as a kicker. Now, this went really fast. It's supposed to go fast. It's supposed to make you think. As I'm sitting here talking, I'm not really paying attention to the players because I'm talking to you guys about what I'm doing. Didn't have a whole lot of opportunities to talk about some of the other players that were picked other places. Go through the video. If you have questions on a certain round, let's ask them down below. This is the perfect time of year to ask each other questions, to help each other out, to try to find these trends. Like I said at the beginning, there's a lot of things that are going on here in June, July, and August. If you can identify them then early enough, by the time your fantasy football draft comes around, in mid to late August, you're going to know exactly where these players are going to fall. You're going to know what strategy you like. Maybe you don't want to go 3 running backs heavy. Now you kind of see what happens to your wide receivers if you do that. Maybe you want to throw in 1 wide receiver there in the first 3 rounds. This is where we're doing that. This is where we're having some fun with it. Put some comments down below. I want to know if you would have made any different picks. Now, obviously, are these all my top picks for every round? No, it's a mock draft. It's meant to be fun. But put something down below. Maybe you would have selected a player at a different spot than I did. I would love to go back and forth. You may have found something in the video that maybe makes more sense. By all means, share it. Love to hear it. Love to communicate with you guys. We're one of the most interactive channels here on YouTube. Go check out our website, TheFantasyHeadliners.com. Our draft guide is available there for $19.99. It is jam-packed full of tons and tons and tons of information to help you dominate fantasy football this year. Lots of great stuff. Go check that out. Really appreciate your support. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.